What's up, everybody? Back again with another video. In today's video, man, I just wanted to talk about my experience flying so far in Arma Reforger, and it has been an insane night, bro. I've been playing Arma Reforger for about the last 17 and a half, 18 hours straight. And then I did a 3 hour break and did another 2.5 hour, 3 hour game. And throughout the journey, I want to thank a couple guys, to the guys I was playing with, especially Crimson. If you're watching this, thank you, bro, for giving me a shot originally flying, because this is a game that is unfortunately very anti new players getting to use the cool planes, which I feel like is a huge reason a lot of people are going to play this game is for the helicopters. It's just it's an experience. It really is. Even if you don't get to fly very long, it's an experience. But overall, I am getting the hang of it. About 7 hours straight of flying. About out of like the 18 hours or so I've played, about 7 hours straight were me in the cockpit flying. The rest were me being a co-pilot, doing navigation, or being a turret gunner, or just getting resources and getting helicopters ready to go. So I wasn't obviously in there doing piloting all 18 hours. Had I done that, I'd probably be way better than I am. So let's get into kind of how it feels to fly the helicopter. So first off, I will say the takeoff and flying aspects of it are easy peasy, lemon squeezy with the cherry on top. It's super easy. You literally turn it on, go up, and then you just push forward, backward, side to side. It's really whatever. And once you're in the sky, it's weird because you would think once you're in the sky, there's more things that could go wrong, but in reality, it's not. There's a lot less that goes wrong in the sky, right? You have to really fuck it up, which I did multiple times. Just saying, but for the most part, it's really once I did it a couple times, it's really just kind of putting your nose down just a little bit and kind of gliding with it, really not fighting with the air, kind of working with the sky, and so that's very simple. The problem that I'm having, and I hope some people down below can leave me some tips. I would love as many tips as possible, and that is the landing aspect. I'm really struggling with getting that landing down because I don't know how many times I'll be landing in this gameplay for you, but if I do land, take notice how I'm landing. Either if I go some tips were saying go nose first down, and then kind of popping it up a little bit and kind of having an even drop. I found that didn't really help me all that much. If anything, it got me crashed more just because I was going too far nose deep. So then I started doing the tail first down and then kind of just rotating it out, and that seems to work. But the problem I'm having with this strategy is, yes, I'm able to get on the ground safer a little bit more often. Say out of every 2 lands I crash, I'm getting more and more consistently, like 3 or 4 lands before I end up fucking up and crashing. But my biggest problem now with going tail end is I'm having too much speed, and so when I come in for a landing, I'm coming in way too fast, and so I have to kind of spin out and circle around and drop. And in that process, I'm usually not lined up with where I need to be when I drop. And again, you'll see that in this gameplay if it's in here. I'm not sure if it'll be in here or not. But if it is, you'll take notice of that where when I come in, right here's a perfect example. I come in way too fast. I turn. I try to slow it down, and you see I put the front of the plane way too high, and it forces me back. And this is a problem I'm having consistently, and I know it's a user error. I know that for a fact. I know this is not a game problem. This is just me not understanding the best strategy or being able to control the descent quick enough. So that's my biggest problem. I don't know, many other people might have other problems. I know for a fact that the Huey is definitely far easier to use in terms of just getting up and moving around. I'm not a huge fan of the Soviet helicopter. It's just way too big, heavy, chunky. It's a big boy, alright? No one likes big boys, alright? We like small boys. Pause. Anyway, the overall experience is fantastic, though. The control is very easy, simple to learn. I'm not a fan of inverted controls, but the down, up, down for going forward and backwards, that's not really that hard. After about 30 minutes, I figured that out very quickly, and that was not really a big deal. So overall, solid controls for the most part. So W there. Some other things that I want to talk about real quick, not so good. not so good, guys. Not so good. So the biggest thing for me right now is the player base is very anti-new player to helicopters. So if I go into a lobby and I say, I've been running with a bunch of pilots, right? I got my buddy Crimson, who's a pilot, and we have some co-pilots, and I'm running with 2 or 3 gunners as well. We have a little squad going right now at the current moment that we were running all night. And so because we have this little squad, I was hopping on and I was saying, hey, we got a squad of helicopter pilots and gunners. If you need us, we're there, whatever. And a lot of times what's happening is you have to be perfect 100% of the time. You have no room for error when you're playing this game with other players in your helicopter driving. There's no room for error. If you have an error, everyone sees it, and no one will ever let you live that down in that lobby. And for part of it, that's great, right? Because you're keeping other players accountable for stupid decisions. If they make a stupid decision, that's fine. The problem is there's this hatred towards new players. I got bitched at for admitting, right? I've been completely honest about all of my interactions with helicopters. If I crash, I'm honest about the situation that happened. I think about 2/3 of all my crashes have been due to me. I'm very honest about that because there's no point in hiding it, right? I mean, it's a game. It doesn't have any levels. It doesn't matter. Another thing is people do not like it when you are, like, for me, example, one other thing I was saying was I'm a medium base pilot. I'm able to get up in the air. I'm able to get to your location. I'm able to do gun runs. I'm very good at gun running. I will admit, I'm a bomb at that shit, boy. Which gun running, for anyone that doesn't know gun running terminology, gun running is basically when you take the helicopter and you're going to, say your objective's here, you're just going to kind of fly past that at different levels, different altitudes, different angles, and you're basically just going to create a funnel of fire, right? You're going to create that funnel of fire and kind of get those enemies kind of trapped in that little funnel, and allowing your ground forces to advance. And that's kind of what I was doing a lot, especially the last game of the day. We were doing a lot of gun running, and it was fantastic. But I was very honest that my landings are not the greatest. If I do land, which is about 50% of the time I'm landing without any crashes, which is great. Majority of those 50% of those lands are not perfect drops or smooth drops. They're kind of a rough, bouncy drop or a very rapid descent that makes kind of people kind of worried when they're coming in. And the other half are crashes and so on and so forth. And I think that for me is the biggest problem, is because people just assume because I can't land that automatically makes me a bad pilot. And I found ways around having not to have to land while I'm still learning how to land. So what I've been doing is getting kind of low to the ground. So here's the ground. I'm kind of hovering above it a little bit, about 20 feet off the ground, maybe 15 feet the most. And letting them just drop out because there's no fall damage for that height. So I just let them fall out, and I kind of do like a SEAL team drop-off kind of type of thing. And that's been working great for smaller groups. And I've been trying not to take on as many big groups. That's another thing, too. I haven't really tried to take on any massive helicopter groups, except for twice. And both times I crashed due to another cause, either being shot at or being shot or whatever it may be. And so it's kind of one of those things where I know I can't handle a big group, so I don't even volunteer my helicopter for large groups when it comes to like doing massive maneuvers. And there's some guys on here that are great helicopter pilots. I mean, I've seen guys doing J-hooks and all kinds of crazy stuff. So I let the bigger groups to them, the guys that can handle those more pinpoint drops when they have to deal with multiple guys. And again, it's all a learning curve, right? This is all learning, right? Where at the end of the day, you have to fail in order to progress. And that's what I'm kind of trying to do. I'm kind of pushing myself further and further. As the day went on, I got more aggressive with my turns. I got more sharper turning training. I started getting better at kind of doing low. I was kind of hovering over the trees the entire route. Just practicing, because at the end of the day, you have to be able to fail in order to be successful. And I think that's important. That's kind of why I'm making this video. Not necessarily to teach people how to fly or be gloating about how good or bad I am, but to admit that you have to fail in a way in order to be successful. And you guys can see here that I did a really good landing right there. That was a solid landing. If I could only duplicate that every single time, probably wouldn't have as many issues. But unfortunately, that's just not the case, and I suck at landing. It is what it is. I have to practice a lot. But yeah, this is the first video in my journey. I will be making videos periodically through the future as I get better. And I eventually want to get to the point where I can do night ops, because I tried to fly during the night. I can't fucking see a thing. I literally could not fucking see a thing, so I couldn't land. And so that's a big problem for me as well. I need to learn how to build a fly during the night and not need to. I need to learn how not to rely on a navigator because I get lost very easily. It's very hard to navigate when you don't know the map while flying at the same time. So it's nice having a co-pilot, but obviously you're not going to always have a co-pilot. So I need to learn how to navigate. And that's I haven't had to learn how to navigate on a game since DayZ when I first got that game like 2.5 years ago. So yikes on that one. But with that being said, that is pretty much the video, man. I just wanted to share my experience with flying. And I've only added 7 hours in the game for flying. The rest of my time in the game has been boots on the ground or vehicle combat. So, hope you guys found this interesting. If you guys are having similar issues and you guys want to vent about flying, let me know down below. I'm interested. And again, if you have any tips, tricks, if you're a professional Arma PC flying goddess, let me know down below. I would love to hear some of your tips and tricks. And if you have video ideas that have like videos that have tutorials, drop the links down below in the comments because I would love to see them and kind of get an idea of what I'm doing wrong and what I'm doing right. So yeah, love you guys. And Armored Forger is a blast. Again, I haven't spent 17 hours playing a game in a very, very long time in a row. Like, sure, like 6 hours here, 7 hours there, but never 17 hours straight. So Arma, good job, man. It's been a while since I've dedicated a whole night's worth of grinding to one specific game. So that's not Call of Duty specifically. So congratulations there. And again, love you guys. And yeah. The Hueys are awesome, but I really want Black Hawk helicopters.